Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Habitual Minecraft. Knox, come here. Come on. He won't stop boofing at me. What is up, everybody? We are... Oh, my God. How many treats did your aunt give you? There's one left in here. Mrs. Linecrosser, if you're watching, I'm going to text you. I need more treats. They're out. They're officially out. I just had to split one. What is up, everybody? Is the Harrier going to be included? Yes, I need to create a Harrier character. I know a lot of people have asked for it. It's on my list. So somebody, one of the first super chats that I saw, hello, I wanted to say hi, hello to you as well, may have stole America's oil and touched the boats. I would highly discourage both of those things. We do have a history when it comes to our boats and our oil. See reference December 7th, 1941, and fuck, when did Desert Storm start? 1991, but I can't remember. Happy Thursday. What is up, Big Star? I have been so ungodly busy. So I have my forever home in New Mexico, where I'll be going once I get out of the military. Right now, I'm juggling an ungodly amount of appointments to go through all this VA stuff, right? 31 claim conditions, by the way. Turns out I'm a little broken. Anyways, so I've been going through all that, and my wife and I, we went to our forever house, and, well, in 5 days, I put up, one chandelier, 3 ceiling fans. By the way, one of those ceiling fans was from Wayfair. I will explain why Wayfair is kind of on my shit list. And then I tried to assemble like 9 pieces of furniture, but I only succeeded in like 6 or 3. Well, 3 chairs, 4 or 5 chairs, a couple of end tables. Like, I was just so busy. And then we painted 4 rooms. I've been busy as shit. So that's what was going on for my last week. That's why I wasn't here. But also, I do, a word of caution to this tale. So one of those ceiling fans was Wayfair. Let me tell you a story. Went to put up the ceiling fan, put up the other 2 ceiling fans, and Mrs. Linecrosser is knocking. Thank you. She was bringing you treats, you fat ass. So one of those was Wayfair. Well, the directions were very unclear. A piece that comes factory was loose, so I had to, drill it out and get a new one. And then the screws that retain the base plate in place were not long enough to do that job. So, okay, cool. Whatever. No big deal. When's Buff getting a cameo? He has a cameo. I just don't really advertise it. This is something I do for fun. I keep it as low as the fucking thing will let me. But I don't have a lot of time for cameo, so that's why I really haven't promoted it. That, and then the table showed up. Really nice table. Very pricey table. This is the second time the table showed up. First time, it was broken. This time, it's also broken. So then we start unpacking things, trying to figure out, okay, what is broken, what is not. 4 of the chairs are broken. One of the chairs didn't even arrive. It's a set of 2. So I assembled 3 chairs. All of it was Wayfair. Now, Wayfair, I will admit, is trying to do right and get the things fixed, but it was just an absolute fucking nightmare. It's good that Poland isn't European Florida. You are not wrong. I'm stuck at work. Oh, shit, it dropped down. I hate it when it does that. Stuck at work, pick a plane and have them say, I'm open for business. Business is giving you the business. I'm open for business. Business is giving you the business. Or, I'm open for business. Business is giving you the business. There you go. I got you. You got 2 of them. Aloha. What is up? Welcome to the 30-plus claim condition club, bro. I'm hoping. You know what I didn't know? So the only thing that Oklahoma has going for it is, and someone said steak versus ham. Steak all day. What is wrong with you? Are you Canadian? Anyways, in the state of Oklahoma, I didn't know this, but the VA actually got investigated because they were giving away too many 100%. After they were investigated, they found out, okay, they're really just that fucking broken. But yeah, Oklahoma VA was actually investigated because they gave away too many high VA ratings. Call sacks, ball sacks, nut sacks. Sacks. It's Sean Ryan from Temu. You know what's funny is I get that, well, not the Temu thing, but I get So I went to a range day, and there was a gentleman who had never met me before. And I walked in, and his eyes got real big. And I was like, oh, okay, he must be a fan, watches the show, whatever. And he's like, Rain's groaning. He's like, Mr. Ryan? And I was like, no, I'm flattered, but I'm pretty sure that I have like 6 inches and maybe 80 pounds on Sean Ryan. I'm not sure how tall he is. I'm 6'1", 6'2", depending on which 7-Eleven I'm leaving. I think he's a shorter guy. I want to say he's like 5'9", maybe 5'7", I don't know. It's almost like the military absolutely breaks people. You are not fucking wrong. When am I getting bullied by Rich again? Oh, I see you guys saw the recent kind of consensual. So we have one more recorded. Actually, I think 2 more recorded because I was out of town for one of them. Kind of spoiler alert there. But yeah, it'll be there soon enough. Love Grandpa Buff. Everyone loves Grandpa Buff. I love Grandpa Buff. There was a guy, I posted a video on Pepperbox tonight. It'll be live here on YouTube tomorrow. Same exact video. And some guy in there was like, you ruined Grandpa Buff's character. And I'm like, I disagree. Grandpa Buff has always been like king of the hot take. So you guys can judge for yourself. I hope you watch it tomorrow when it drops here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoy it. I adamantly disagree with that individual's opinion. He's entitled to have it, and I know I'm not perfect, and I don't always hit everything nail on the head. So I'm humble enough to admit if I've done something wrong, but I did consider my lines in that episode very, very carefully. So how's it going? Just bought a pair of Metat Ray-Bans for my YouTube channel, where I use swords to cut up water bottles. Maber FPS sword fighting. I don't know anything about swords and sword fighting, but that's actually really interesting. ERLC in HLC chat is crazy. ERLC. Who's ERLC? I'm sorry, I'm not dude, I don't consume a lot of content. I'm just always busy. He is Sean Ryan's cousin with Down syndrome. Yeah, you would say that, because I tell everybody everything they need to know about weapons and aircraft and missiles, especially the A-10. What Weapons doesn't want you to know is I'm an expert on everything that is the A-10. Fun fact, okay? The A-10 was originally designed inside a man's brain, not on paper, in 1957. It then came into full production in the 70s. Took a little bit of the jazz cabbage to make it happen. And originally, they wanted some awesome, close air support aircraft. So they're like, we're going to put the biggest minigun ever. Well, they couldn't fit it because the biggest minigun ever was the Vigilante. It's an air defense minigun, and it's 37 millimeters. So they went with a 30 because that's all they could do. I love fucking with weapons. Thanks for the captions. Chocolate Heron for Canada. It's funny. I had somebody in my on Pepperbox say something about the captions, and I just, that's something that I always want to focus on is the subtitles. I really do care about that because I was unaware that I had deaf viewers until Ping and them showed up. So I was like, you know what? I want to make sure that this is something that I continuously do because deaf people want to laugh too. I saw something you said about not liking people who wear fedora unironically. Do you have beef with Ryan Macbeth? No, Ryan is a good dude. Ryan is a character. Ryan, he's a bit intense sometimes, but he knows what he's talking about. And this is the thing. I try and take everything Ryan says, not, how do I word this? Ryan's brain works really good, but the filter to make it come out the mouth, not as good. So sometimes his hot takes come out even hotter than he intends. So like I watch some of his stuff whenever I do watch his videos a couple of times because I'm like, what is he exactly trying to say? And then eventually I kind of like, okay, he has these facts, this information. All right, that makes sense. But I still make fun. I made fun of him to his face about the fedora. I'm like, Ryan, no grown man wears a fedora, unironically. Plans for ST. I'm not sure what you mean. Being wet makes bamboo stronger. You mentioned the Starship flight in the next couple. Yes, I was watching that actually a little bit today. It was on in the background while I was busy doing things. You're talking about the one that is probably landed already on the moon. Is that the one you're talking about? Do I play War Thunder? I used to. If you go way back in my videos, it was my greatest thing ever. I can't remember what it's called, but when you like kill an enemy that's like X amount of levels above you, And I had this little tiny tank, and I took out a T-72. I was so proud. What am I drinking? Believe it or not, this is just, it's like these little kind of sparkling water things, and I just throw a little bit of lime in there. You can do it with alcohol. I just don't. You have 2 fedoras? Ramington. I want you to know, Ramington. I respect a man's right to choose, okay? I respect any man's right to choose. But literally, not a single person that sees you wear that fedora finds it attractive, including women. Actually, especially women. I'm going to just be, look, I mean, I don't know how to like sugarcoat and lie to people. I'm not really good at it. So, first time catching you live, HLC, great content, always for your channel. I love you, Vid. They always bring me a smile to my face. Just hope someone fuck around, find out, and let the kid eat. I'm telling you, again, my one thing that I always hope, by the way, thank you for being here. My one hope is that when the kid finally gets an intercept, I can do justice with the video. That's kind of my only goal. Good evening, sir. And then there was someone, I just read it. What do I know about the Space Force? Very little. My old platoon sergeant actually went green to gold, and so he became an officer, and then he branched over to Space Force. So, because one of the things Space Force was taking was Army Air Defense Tacticians. Once upon a time, I could have done that, but I'm like, I don't care. I should have done it. He tells me about his life, and it sounds fucking magical. It sounds wonderful. And then I go stand in a people box out in 20 degrees in Oklahoma with 50-mile-an-hour winds, making sure other grown men dress the same as me. I'm going to just have my drink. That's what I'm going to do. Rank doesn't matter. Exactly. You're suffering on War Thunder right now? Dude, don't play it. I'm telling you, don't pay the snail. Did the F-117 make the show? The show. What show? Oh, no. Still working on that. We're a little behind. But we got a couple of good things lined up. I'm not really that up to speed. Okay, all right, never mind. First time catching you live, HLC, great content. Oh, wait, I already read that one, sorry. Booster got caught, however, but the spaceship, kaboom. Leave fedoras out of this. Look, man, I'm going to just, I tell you how it is. No Warhammer 40K. I haven't had time. I do plan on getting into Warhammer, right? It is on my list of things to do. I just, right now, I get done with the army. I come home, sit on my couch for maybe 45 seconds, and then I'm like, time to go do my other job. And I walk upstairs and I start creating and editing and doing paperwork, and I'm constantly busy. So right now, but I love the art style of Warhammer. I don't know shit about it. I was told to start with Horus Heresy in the books. So that's where I'm starting. That has been echoed by a few different people. So that's where I'm starting. I don't know anything else about it. Hi there. Hey there. Hi there. Ho there, bud. You're a Canadian. When should we start our economic war crimes, such as cutting the power to New York, Michigan, and Minnesota? I don't know. Here's the thing, right? Like, I always, for me, I like to think that there's a method to the madness. I even did this under President Biden, right? I always like, what is the end goal? Now, the fentanyl and drugs and everything coming across the border makes sense for Mexico. That makes total fucking sense. We're going to impose these tariffs until you solve this crime problem. Makes sense. It's like 90% of it is coming from the South. Like, I remember reading the statistics. I can't remember. It was like 4% of the fentanyl in the United States, less than 4%, comes from Canada. So that's not the issue. I just need to know what the hell the issue is. So I'm looking through the world and trying to understand things. Only other fedora wearing men will compliment you, so. Dream person to play a character on your show. Ooh. Well, because it's a dream, I can pick anybody. Robin Williams. And I would just want him to be himself. I don't even know what he would play, but I would want him to play himself. Doctor Who's the only person that can wear a fedora. Yeah. No, that's a fez. He wears a fez because he's like, fez is a cool. Intercept you? Man, Grandpa Buff, this guy's kind of weird.
Well, listen, he's a paying customer for HLC, so go intercept him. Bring the loop.
All right, sorry, I should. I'm sorry. how much to get sloshed on stream. I do not have any alcohol in my house right now. I have been partaking too much in the Acadam, as my old first sergeant used to call it. He's from like Alabama or something. He's a big old black dude named First Sergeant Dunning. Super deep voice. I'd known him for a number of years, and every Friday he would give us a safety brief. Obviously, everyone gets a safety brief on Fridays in the Army. Just, don't beat your wife, don't beat your kids, don't beat your dog, don't cook bacon naked, don't pet a burning dog, shit like that. And he would always be like, all right, soldiers, I know this weekend y'all gonna go out and have a good time. That's fine. Y'all go have a good time. But don't y'all be drinking too much of that Acadam. And he called alcohol Acadam. You know why? Because it make you Acadam fool. That was his thing. He's like, Acadam make you Acadam fool. And I will never forget Acadam for as long as I live. Weapon said safety brief. Shut up. We still have to. What do I think about Ospreys? So once upon a time, it was over a year ago, after an Osprey crash, I made a video making fun of the Osprey. That is also a learning opportunity for me. Before I explain what happened, this was a learning opportunity. That's what I took it as. Plain people are feral. Okay, I love you guys. Don't get me wrong. I adore every single one of you. But you are feral. Someone talks about your aircraft, you know everything about it. You're like trained people, but with aircraft. You're fucking feral. So the Osprey fanboys came after me like pitchforks. It was, dude, I'm telling you, it was insane. Like my recent memes, what's that anime guy? Looking through things for more. I did see, you sent me one, right? Or was that you? Somebody's been sending me anime memes, and I don't fully understand them, but I'm like, it's kind of interesting. Wait, Horus Heresy's like 40 books. How many fucking books does Warhammer have? Downloading Pepperbox specifically for your content makes work so much better. Eric Baldwin, thank you so much. Pepperbox is a good time, man. I just like the wide left to right limit as a creator. Like, it's kind of a moral thing for me. Like, I don't know. I always started making content because I like making people laugh. So I never wanted to put things like behind paywalls, right? But I realized that is more or less a necessity because other platforms, public platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, stuff like that, have become so restrictive on content creators. So like it's out of necessity. Like, so I love what I can do there. The guys there are great. Though I prefer the beanie. They're warm too. Yo, beanies are what's up. There's no end goal. It's a surcharge, not cutting it off. Oh, okay. Ooh, there's some things coming I'm trying to keep up. Be over 18 or you have to work with Franklin. Listen. Franklin's busy. How about the F-22 bragging about his new fedora? I don't think that I could say the things that Grandpa Buff would say to him on a public platform. Like, that would have to be a Pepperbox exclusive. Sister drank me dry. You ain't wrong. Don't sweat the petty things and don't pet the sweaty things. Yes. We love and hate you too. Aw. Yes, we're feral. This is the thing. I learned that that lesson. And then Zach, veteran with a sign, good friend of mine. Zach is like, honestly, when you see Zach and he does content, what you see is what you get. Zach is like that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The same with Rich and, Angry Cops. Honestly, all the guys I associate with are the way you see them on the internet all day long. Like, there's no in between. And Zach called me out of the blue after Elon Musk said something about the F-35, and Zach agreed with him and about drones replacing the F-35. And I had my own take. I was like, I disagree because drones can't do A, B, and C. There's always, a pilot in there is going to be more useful than a drone operator. And he called me and he's like, bro, what is up with airplane people? And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, I said something negative about the F-35 and I'm getting death threats. And I was like, dude, plane people are feral. I'm telling you, man, don't fuck with plane people. They are feral. And so he found that shit really funny. But yeah, except Brandon, he's a Fed. Shh. We need an FPV drone character. I do want to create an FPV drone character, but I've been thinking about doing that one, but I don't know, like, which country it's going to be from. I don't know if I want to do an accent with it. I don't know. So Navy does the same thing. Don't add to the population. Don't subtract from the population. Yep. Hello, HLC. Or hey, HLC. I'm dyslexic. My brother stationed at Fort Sill confirmed that he has met you several times. Was also in a class of yours a couple years ago. No shit. You were a CB in Colorado? I got a soft spot for CBs, man. Like anyone that I worked with in a combat zone, I'm cool with. So there were CBs, combat engineers, EOD, the FET, the female engagement team, snipers, Rangers were kind of assholes. But that's a story for another time. Rangers were kind of dicks. But your brothers met me? That's awesome. Like I tell people all the time, man, if you see me out in public, come say hi. Doesn't matter where I'm at. Come say hi. I want to say hi to you. Dude, I had a fucking funny ass like moment, right? You guys are gonna laugh. And I love moments like this because they humble me. They humble me so much. And I love that. I love that so much. Sometimes I go out in my backyard and pick up dog shit just so I can laugh and be like, HLC still picks up his own dog shit. And just, because like I always want to keep my feet grounded. And we were at the airport, my wife and I, and we had taken Fritz, her little dog. He's not in here right now. And we were walking with Fritz. And this guy goes, "Can I take a picture?" And I was like, yeah, dude, no problem. That's the same reaction I have with anybody. He wanted to take a picture of my dog. Luckily, he didn't know like what I was doing, but I was getting ready to set my bag down, and he just snaps a picture of Fritz, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, the dog. That's all right. Yeah, that's cool." Not enough books. You need more. Jesus, Terry. Want to see? Oh, hold on. I want to see still see the surprise stream, but still at work. Sick people are so inconsiderate. Keep up the awesome content, please. No more HLC withdrawal. I know I'm trying, man. I'm going to try and stay on top of it. I appreciate it. I'm trying to keep up. I know I'm behind, guys. My mods are doing that for me to try and keep up. What character would Ryan Macbeth play? I mean, he's a software engineer. He might be able to do like a computer or a network router or something like that, or like a hacker. I don't know. Planes and trains people are the worst. Love your content, HLC. First time watching live. Well, thank you for being here. If you don't have time to read Isander and Coda. Isander and Coda. Okay, I haven't heard of that one before. Is a good 40K YouTube channel to watch. Would love to see F4 Corsair. You and me both. Wither! What is up, my dude?
Accept me.
Sorry I'm late, I didn't expect you to be streaming and I won't be in here for long, but thank you for the cameo for my friend.
Oh, that was... God damn it, Wither. God damn it. You got... I swear, Wither is purposely trying not to like let me know he's interacting with me and still interact with me. Wither, you son of a bitch. But I'm glad your friend liked the cameo, man. I appreciate you being here. So my favorite aircraft of all time is actually, it's right back there on the shelf. It's the F4U Corsair. I haven't had a reason, like trust me, I want to, but I haven't had a reason to use the F4U Corsair yet. So maybe I'll do like, once I'm out and I have more time, I can do like history throwbacks and stuff, which I think would be a lot of fun. Designation for the Sky Warden, I'm sure Buff would have an opinion. I did not hear about the new designation of the Sky Warden. I'm going to put that in my notes because I need to check into that. All right, I will check into it. HLC, the only thing you got to do for an FPV drone is just screaming. I thought that would be the star scream, star streak, whatever. The one that had like all the sonic booms as it was flying. Mafioso fashion exists, so yes, you can wear a fedora. Hold on, all right, that's fair. I can agree with that. But I have 100% of people I've ever seen wear fedoras are not wearing zoot suits, not carrying Tommy guns in violin cases. They're not mafiosos. They're usually at a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. Just saying. Just personal experience. Sorry you're late. Well, you missed a few things. Knox was over here speaking in perfect Portuguese. How do I know it was Portuguese? He was teaching me a little bit. Rain. Okay, she's just licking her paw. She has a wrap on her tail because she had a growth removed, and they stitched it, and she ripped the stitches out. So they stitched it again, and she ripped the stitches out. So now there's a staple in it. So now we got to really, really keep a close eye on her. Robot voice filter for the FPV drone. I haven't started messing with filters yet, but I do want to just see how they turn out. 40K came out in 87? Seriously? I had no idea. I gotta try and get through these real quick. 8.5 million to buy a fully operational demilitarized F-16. That's on sale in Florida for civilians. Look, if I had 8.5 million laying around, I'm there for it. You know the Prince of UAE has his own F-16? Yeah, when I was over there, we'd be out there and they'd be like, all right, shut everything down. The Prince is going flying. They shut down the entire airbase and he's just up there doing flippity doodahs and shit. I'm like, man, it must be fucking nice to be royalty. Then I realized he has to live in the Middle East. So, I mean, I win no matter what, but still, the dude's got an F-16. Kind of jealous. Ryan would be that X-43 unmanned thing that NASA has in space. I want to look into that thing. I remember seeing something about it. My brother laughed when I told him, thank him for his cervix, as quoted by you. Thank you for your cervix. Of course. What is the highest rank that has directly told you your channel is funny? Enlisted officer warrant. A 1-star. He's a really, really nice guy. Actually invited me up for a training exercise. And then me, him, the other 2 NCOs I brought with me to the training exercise, and then the sergeant major in charge of all of air defense artillery. Literally last week we just had a sit down talking about bringing air defense into like a LISCO fight in that training exercise, which is really fucking cool because like air defense, I love my job, but we haven't been important in 20 years. Like we have, but we haven't. Like we're not doing a job, we're a deterrent. But now we're seeing what's going on in Ukraine and other places, and they're like, oh shit, we really care about air defense. But we've been so smoke and mirrors. Hell, in 2016, I went into a SIPR area, a secret area, and we had like a capes and limbs class, capabilities and limitations of our air defense system. And we had a bunch of airmen who work on the flight line come in there, and then they were able to ask questions. Can you do this? Can you do this? And like we kind of explained to them what we bring to the fight, and they were so much more willing to work with us. They're like, that's fucking cool as hell. One of them did think that he could dump chaff and flares and outrun it. I was like, that's cute. No. It was really hard to tell him, like, I could still kill you? Like, I felt so weird telling a fucking captain, like, no. But it was really, really good, man. It was a good time. So, Ryan would be a Chinook helicopter. Have I done a Chinook? Oh, yeah, no, I was working on the Chinook. I was trying to do an Arlie Ermy for the Chinook. I can get the cadence of the voice right. I cannot get the tone. Just like South African. It's the bane of my fucking existence. Ryan Macbeth as an AWACS. Oh, and the airplane tism badly. So sorry the fangs out. Dude, I'm telling you. Starship as a character. I do want to consider that. What's up, Wither?
Me? I'd intercept me.
You will never know when I interact with you.
I swear to God, the next time I do any kind of public appearance, I'm going to ask every person, are you Wither on YouTube? Pull up your YouTube on your phone right now. I'm going to just, one after the other, pull up your YouTube on your phone right now. I want to see it. Motherfucker, I'm going to find out, Wither. I'm going to find out who you are. And I'm going to say thank you to your face. Thoughts on the P61C? I'm unfamiliar with that. Again, I don't know everything about everything. I'm still learning as much as I possibly can. Thunder Screech, thank you, Grimwheeler. That was the one I couldn't think of with the... I think in the Starstreak, which is the HVM, the high-velocity missile that the Brits have, honestly, I wish we would just stop developing a shoulder-fired missile and just grab that one in large quantities. It's fucking awesome. But I digress. SR-71 favorite plane? Hey, teach their own, man. I noticed that about plane people. Every single one of you plane people have a favorite aircraft. Every single one of you. But yeah. Create a Twitch and Discord. I'm pretty sure we would love to engage with you a lot more. So I do have a Discord. God of Chaos. I'm sure that they got into it. Probably one of my mods told you about that. It's just 18 and up. So I have a Twitch. I used to stream on Twitch.
Would you
Mr.
intercept me?
Boulay and the department.
I'd intercept me.
I'm late for formation, doing my part to expand the influence of the American military-industrial complex.
All right,
One
that's it.
memo at a time. Memo, nerd face.
From now on, you got to be here 30 minutes early, and I will ensure
Would
that
you
you have your
intercept
memo
me?
in your hand.
I'd
Whether
intercept me.
I personally apologize to all the people that get falsely accused of antics.
The hunt for Wither. I'm going to have your friends come and find you, take pictures, and send it to me so I know who you look like. Grandpa Buff had an affair with the C-141 Starlifter. I got to look into, like, there's so many things. I found out that there's, I think it's the F-11 shot itself down. I didn't even know about that. I got to look into it. Somebody sent that to me and I was like, that's a thing? I don't know everything about everything, so I'm trying. Corsair, one of the only planes to shoot down a MiG jet. Yep. That's part of the reason I love the F4U Corsair. Everyone else was like jet. And the US is like supercharged prop plane. How about that? Like I love a good punching up story. Like I love that. So that's part of the reason that I love the F4U Corsair. But I do have a Twitch. I don't ever get on there. Like once I'm out of the military and I have time to do more creating and more stuff like that, I plan on like maybe starting up a B channel where I do video games and maybe I do like Star Citizen and I talk as Grandpa Buff the entire time. I don't know. I do want to do that stuff, but right now, like I focus on the important things, right? Like creating the videos, telling the news and, you know, making the jokes and stuff like that. And then I do love these streams because I love interacting with you guys and I try and read everything, but I mean, you all see how fast it's going. It's physically impossible. Regarding fedoras, 2 words, Indiana Jones. False. Indiana Jones did not have a fedora. His did not flip up in the back. His was flat all the way around and kind of angled downward. He did not have a fedora. Do not insult Indiana Jones like that. It's okay. How much do you sell those for HLC? Sell what? Are we talking about feet pics? Oh, also, everyone, we're making progress. It's slow, arduous progress, but we are making progress on the Franklin plushie. Thank you for being patient. I am working my absolute ass off trying to get this fixed. Walter Cronkite would be a good character. I've never tried to do a Walter Cronkite. And thank you. No, I don't know. I'd have to work on that. I wish my girlfriend was an immortal vampire. I don't know how to respond to that. I don't even know why I read it out loud. I'm so sorry. X-29. Even though, what is going on? Please find a way to fit a Ukrainian MiG-29 to your videos to taunt the F-22. I know that MiG-29's been putting in work. Oh, weapons, leave me alone. I'm trying to get caught up. Dogs licking. Rain, stop it. Rain. Rain. Stop. Okay, hold on. Did I feel I want to make sure. Fucking Wither, man. A4 Skyhawk, come on, man. 2-second appearance as a veteran plane. Again, one of the spin-offs I would like to do is classic like history stories, like as they're actually happening, you know, just go through what happened and why it happened and the background and everything, which is kind of what I do over on Pepperbox. I have like a little spin-off called HLC State of Mind, and it's all about like American history. It's not very plane focused, but it is all about American history. So that's one thing. My thoughts on the LGM-35 Sentinel and the Prism. The Sentinel, if I'm not mistaken, the Sentinel is the one possibly replacing the Minuteman III. I don't know enough about it to make a determination. The Prism is another one of those programs I don't know enough about to make a determination. Unfortunately, like it's a weird thing, man. Like in my brain, I feel bad, Blue Jay, but I try not to talk about anything that I'm not at least semi-versed in. In case y'all didn't know, we managed to make the LRHW, long-range hypersonic weapon. It will be fielded, well, not fielded, it'll be deployed this year. In case you guys were never checking. Everyone go with him and say you're with her. Don't you do it! P-38, good, it's a classic. Where do I get my news sources? A lot of different places. So the cool thing is on the Galaxy S24 that I have, you go to your just regular home screen, you swipe to the left, and any like news style or information that you like that I click on, which is all military usually based, it'll just have news sources for me, and I can go to the bottom and hit more. Sometimes I just see them on splash screens and I'll see an article and I'm like, okay, let's check that out. And then pretty regularly my TV downstairs while I'm doing whatever is just on the news on YouTube. Do not besmirch our beloved Dr. Jones. Am I at Carson? If so, can I get a photo? No, I'm not at Carson. My family's in Colorado, but I am not at Carson. I was at Carson once upon a time. Oh my God, they just started going crazy. Wither!
Would you intercept me? I'd intercept me.
A question from Cat Lover in the Discord. What is the Golden Dome and what do you think of it?
It's interesting you say that. One of the things... So what I get preliminarily is it's an expansion, ultimately, of American GMD, which is ground-based mid-course defense. I don't know if this incorporates new interceptors, new sensors. I don't know enough about the program. It is on my list. So this weekend, let's let this play. I'll answer that one and then.
Thanks for intellectual honesty and entertainment. Be well.
Igor, thank you so much, my dude. When it comes to the Golden Dome, one of the plans that I have is over the weekend, I want to do all the research I can about it and give you guys a fair understanding and assessment as someone who works in air defense. So that way you guys can understand it a little bit better. Because some of the things, I mean, they even kind of mess with me. I've been in rooms with warrant officers, and sometimes they're like, I did the RIC with the Link 16 and 3011 Charlie to the this, and then we're talking about the flight profile and kinematics and initial turn, and I'm like, I know some of those words. You should learn to speak human. But yeah, you need to watch Chappie to master the South African accent. You know what's funny is somebody told me, well, I don't know who Chappie or Chappie's the that's that fucking robot movie with the Die Antwoord people. You're right. But the guy from Titanfall 2, he is South African, the bad guy, and I was told that that's another one that I need to look into. The Highland Juggalo, thank you so much.
In response to your video about the morality of Ukraine intervention, I hope you understand many RW people are anti-intervention because of disillusionment with the process. For the past 50 years our civ population cries so much that, even though...
Oh my gosh. The Highland Juggalo, thank you again, man. I'm trying to stay with it.
We win every fight, history makes us look like we lose. Our allies scream and cry for help, then yell that we're there. Disrespecting the US is making people stop wanting to intervene, morality be damned. This needs addressed in a video, soon.
So I agree with you. I don't disagree with you. There's a lot of things. The world is in a bit of a shit show right now, and the parallel that I really tell people most of the time is that I would love to not be the world police. I would love to not do that. I would love to have the taxes stay right here in the United States. I would love to just worry about America first. Unfortunately, history has taught us that every time the US does that, the world falls the fuck apart. I wish somebody else would take the torch. Well, okay. Not China or Russia, but I wish somebody else we trusted would take the torch. I really do. Reapers, what? SKL plays, thank you so much, my dude. I hope I understood what you were saying there, the Highland Juggalo. Ever look up the B-36 Peacemaker? It'll make Buff look small. B-36. Is that the 4 turn and 2 burn in one, or is that the one that dropped the fucking atomic bombs? Can't remember. Hold on. because I can't remember. Or 6 turning, 2 burning. Yeah. I've heard of it. I don't know enough about it. Also, take my E5 pay. Purple Freak, relax, man. I try and read everything, man. Would you sign Ryan Macbeth's fedora? I'd sign his fedora faster. Balls. 225 characters, how to fill a space. Are you going down the warrant officer path with One Punch Dad? No. I was approved. I would already be a warrant officer at this point in time. You all saw that unsub episode with me, Tyler Gray, Nick, and Eli, and they pretty much talked me out of staying in the military. And I weighed my options. It wasn't a decision taken lightly. I really got stuck in my head for a while, and I was like, if I go this route, I have another 6 years. If I don't, I have another 2. Like, I wasn't trying to get med boarded or anything at that point in time. Like, I'm not even trying to get med boarded. I just like, let's go to the doctor and tell him what actually hurts. Turns out you're not supposed to be in pain at all point in time. Didn't know that. And so I considered the possibilities. I considered getting out, and then of course I called my wife and I was like, do you think I can do this? And honestly, I'll never forget what she told me. I trust you, I believe in you, and if this is something you want, let's do it. And I hope everybody finds somebody like that. I really do. F4 Phantom versus 5th Gen fighters. Are we talking about Iran? Taking name suggestion for your cat's kittens. Brutus? Thistle? Mittens, Famunda. There you go. Wither, Jesus!
I'd intercept me.
My throne has been threatened. Quick question before I go, what's the next museum you and Nick are going to?
I don't know if I can say. Like, I don't know if I should say. It's down the road, I will admit. Like, it's pretty far out just because of his schedule and my schedule. So those ones are going to be kind of rarer episodes. I know you guys love those things. I try and stay on top of it as much as I can. Once I'm out, I'll have more time to travel and we can actually go do things. It's in Texas. I'll give you that, Wither. I'll give you that. Actually, Indiana Jones did wear a fedora. The hat they call a fedora is now a trilby. You know what, man? I'm gonna give that one to you. You probably know more about fedoras than I do. Do I mess around with 13 Bravo at all out there? Yeah, I work with a couple of them. If you go back in my videos far enough, you will find I have pulled string and go boom on a 777. I've done it. So pretty much, I'm like a basic honorary 13 Bravo. You flip the thing up, the guy swabs the deck or whatever it's called. The dudes put the thing in the other thing, and then they grab the big crooked pipe, and then the guy drops the handle, and then the thing slides down, and then they shove the crooked pipe in, and then the guy puts the stuff behind it and makes sure that there's no stuffy in the way, and then he closes it, and then the guy says fire, and then the other dude goes hit and pulls the string and goes boom. I'm pretty much a 13 Bravo. I might as well be. I would keep a Franklin plushie on my Zamboni. I'm hoping I get it done here soon, man. It's on my list. Hey Pogs, Pogs? Is that like play of the game, or you call me a Pogue? I don't know. Doing well, broski. Used to play 40K with ODA guys and the 160th guys in the Army at Fort Campbell. 160th are some of the biggest weebs out. No shit. Holy shit. Anyways, keep up the good work, Duck Hunter. Much appreciated, my dude. Thank you so much, Shadow Tempest, for being here. Can you... Every time you guys ask me to do something ridiculous on stream, it becomes a GIF. Like when my sister was here and I had the earrings in and I had my hat sideways and I did that has ended up in my Discord. When I wore the pink maid outfit, that has ended up in Angry Cops Discord and my Discord. So fine. Trying to think, should I do a voice for it? I want it that way. Yeah, there you go. Even got a little vibrato in there for you. I couldn't hear myself sing because I have the headphones on. Put some respect on Perry the Platypus name, Fedora. Oh, I'm not great at that one. Okay, all right. I'm way behind. Did you hear we maybe bring back Star Wars, the Cold War defense system? Yes. Talking about the Golden Dome or Golden Dome? Is it the Golden Dome or just Gold Dome? I don't know. I feel like they really missed an opportunity there. Gold is softer than iron. Could have picked a lot of other things, but yeah. I know they're talking about space-based interceptors, which makes sense from a tactical perspective because the main limitation of an air defense system is based off of here comes the TISM. Based off a couple of factors. Of course, maneuverability is one of them. Speed is another one of them. But really what you look at is the weight of the object because you have to have enough fuel to get your interceptor up to meet whatever it's trying to hit. It has to intercept at the right elevation, blah, 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 all these other things. So early detection with a sensor is absolutely key to making any of these engagements. An air or space-based sensor system makes perfect sense when we're talking about intercontinental ballistic missiles. You're going to get early detection easily on those objects. That makes perfect sense. Now, the space-based interceptors, what tickles my tism there is, number one, rocket motors work in a vacuum in space. They produce their own oxygen. That's how we get our own shit up there. Number two, once you get them up there, you can actually have them smaller because you don't need as much fuel to now get an object up that high because you're either firing laterally or down. So you can have more of them that weigh less and are smaller to get the same kinetic effect. Ta-da! There's the TISM. There it is. Just y'all are wholesome as fuck. Bing bong. I can't tell if my cat's going crazy because he wants you to give him pets or because he wants to fight you. I will fight him with my teeth only. Europe is going to try, it seems. I honestly... So I did a big post on Twitter today, and you know, a lot of my takes on Twitter are just hot takes to just be a smartass. But I wanted to break down to people like, while I disagree with the method of like threatening Europe with us leaving NATO and us not helping them anymore and things like that, I disagree with the method. However, I understand the method. And if I were to infer, I like to think that there's logic in everything. I don't think people do things for dumb reasons. If I were to infer, it would be that these threats are being made because previously, for years, the U.S. has asked, begged, pleaded our allies in NATO to build up their military force. But we've continued to subsidize it, so they haven't had to. Now the threat is there, and what we're seeing is an explosion of fucking government or defense spending in Europe because they're worried America's going to leave. Now the end goal here is that it's going to be ultimately, aside from pissing them off royally, we've pissed off Europe, I get it. But the end goal, if the US doesn't leave NATO, which I don't think we should, would be a stronger alliance in general because now all the European partners have built up their military while the US military has saved money and stayed the same size. Boom. That's my logic. Is this a safe space to leak documents for War Thunder? No, I can almost guarantee. I've known people who had certain clearances and they were questioned about my Discord. You guys wonder why my mods are so fucking quick on shit. Because I guarantee Uncle Sam is watching me. I know Uncle Sam is watching me. There's 1,000 people in here. Somebody in here works for Uncle Sam. You want the F-22 to get an interception for your birthday? I want that too. Wait, not in pain? I know, it's weird, right? HLC should get Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. I can see him using the Cyclones in PvP. Ooh. Is it... I don't know anything about that. Is it a RTS game? Because I'm waiting for an RTS game. Wither again!
Would you intercept me? I'd intercept me.
As a not fed, I work for Uncle Sam.
You're a fed. We're all feds, it's okay. As a full-time job and working on wrapping up my aviation associates, congratulations, by the way. I'm now working on an engineering bachelor's degree. I'm hungry for those defense dollars. Thoughts on F4s? Depending on the F4 you're talking about. If we're talking about the F4U Corsair, or are you talking about the F4S? I don't know. I've never heard of the F4S. Are you talking about the F4 Phantom? the Phantom was a great aircraft for the time. But when the U.S. went away, so ultimately a Phantom was a brick. Similar to is the MiG or is it the Su-25? No, Su-25 is the Frogfoot. MiG-29, the Foxbat, where big ass engines make heavy object go quick. The U.S. moved away from that. Realized we didn't need it, and maneuverability and range and radar was really, really the way to go. But for the time, great aircraft. Wither is a loving menace. I'm telling you, man, he's fucking nuts. Is it the MiG-25? Is that the Foxbat? I can never remember. HLC, you rock, should do a video with the Sky Warden in Florida. I need to do that. Golden shower. Oh, man. Do a wheelie. If this chair would have broke, oh my God. I thought that was it. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought this chair wasn't going to stop. That would have been the clip that goes viral. That would have been it. That just HLC's fat ass broke his chair. Oh shit. What is up? Is that Williams? Yeah, Sergeant Williams. What is up, man? If you're still in here. One of the guys I was in Afghanistan with, good NCO I worked with, drove a little gay Genesis. I'm just kidding. This is a nice car. Golden Dome, because building a dome of gold over the entire country would be cheaper. You know, you're not wrong. Well, it's going to be expensive. Reed Lane M. Banks Sci-Fi is probably tickle your tism. Reed Lane M. Wait. Reed Lane M. Banks. Whew. Oh, man, I'm slow. Lane M. Banks Sci-Fi. I will check it out. I like to read. I just don't have any time right now. Once I'm out, yeah, dude. So against space-based interceptors, although they are undoubtedly be effective, that's just inviting Kessler's. That's fair.
I'd intercept me.
Former head UA Armed Forces Zaluthan Yi recently said that it would take over 10k SAM missiles to stop 3k attack missiles, making the arithmetic invalid for the Allies, and bringing to question the defense of NATO. Opinions?
Great question. Let me answer that 1 second. Kessler syndrome. Okay, so if I'm remembering correctly, I don't know the whole Kessler effect thing. From what I understand is that one piece in orbit breaks up and causes a chain reaction until we're completely surrounded by debris, and now we can't leave our own planet. I feel like it's probable. Not a spaceman. I'm a missile guy. But we put up a lot of satellites constantly. Like, constantly. And most of them are designed to have degrading orbits. Or we shoot them down ourselves. Like with an F-15. Or the USS Lake Erie. So, great question on that. Great question, sorry. This one I do want to... So, I agree with you. When it comes to, like, raw numbers. You would take a large number of surface-to-air missiles to stop that amount of volley. But there's a couple of different factors, many different factors you have to look at when building a defense for something. Number one, how many launchers do they have? Do they have the ability to fire 300 or 3,000 simultaneously? I'm going to give you the short answer. No. No country in the world has that capability. At least for like long range or intercontinental ballistic missiles. Short range rockets, some countries have that ability. Poland being one of them. So can they fire that many? Number two, how long does it take for them to reload? These are all based off of Intel or IPB, intelligence preparation of the battlefield. So that's how you tailor your defense. Your defense is not necessarily to stop all of them. It's to stop the initial wave. I'm trying to think about what I can say here. Yeah, I can say that. Radars have gotten better, a lot better, like way better. So usually by the time your ballistic missile is in its boost phase, remember launch boost, apogee, separation, and terminal? By the time it's in its boost phase, American radars know exactly where it came from. Exactly, like 10-digit grid, exactly where that fucker is standing or in the vehicle. So that information gets put on a report, clickety-clack, sent up to the CAOC, Combined Air Operations Center. The ADAFCO goes, cool, these are UTMs. Let's convert them to lat longs. And then I'm going to pass this over to my Air Force counterpart, and he's going to go, thank you, air defense guys with your radars. Or the Navy's going to pass them, so all these things. And then he's going to pass them over, and he's going to go, huh, you know what'd be really cool? Is if I fuck this area up right now. And he's going to go, hey, defensive counter air in the Air Force, this spot right here, it shouldn't exist anymore. And they're going to go, cool, check Roger. I wish I was in the Army, but we'll just do what we can. And I'm just trying to set off fucking weapons. And then they go delete that way. That's kind of the way that it works. So while I agree with you, that's a large number of interceptors to use for a large number of missiles. There's a lot of factors that go into that. And that's just basic kind of defense planning, I guess. I'm a big fan, bro. I'm subbed on Pepperbox. Thank you so much. And I've been subscribed for at least 3 years on here. Seth, you a good one, man. It's interesting that I'm here on a Thursday and, a bunch of people have showed up and I'm really happy. Say hi to the government. Oh, the government's out there. Mrs. HLC. Oh, I know. I see him. Say hi to your friendly government watchdog. No, I refuse. Sorry, I got to make sure I don't lose. Okay. Oh man, did my chat freeze again? Hate when it does that. There we go. I think it's unfroze. HLC got a hypothetical for you. Which would be easier to do, rods from God or diverting rock that is already out there with a kinetic impactor? What would be easier? So right now, I remember reading this. It costs roughly, I want to say this is still accurate, but it might be different, $10,000 a pound to move an object into space. So do the math. I'm 240 pounds. How much money is it to get me into space? A rod from God. A tungsten rod is heavy, very heavy. And honestly, I'll be totally transparent with you. I wouldn't use tungsten personally. I'd use depleted uranium. It's cheaper. Equally as hard, just cheaper. That's why we use DU. Tungsten is expensive. DU is almost exactly the same hardness. It's a lot cheaper to get. Given the, okay, if we had like an asteroid belt, I would say the diverting rocks with a kinetic impact. But then again, you'd have to divert something large enough to get through the atmosphere because it's going to be moving at tens, if not hundreds of thousands of miles an hour. Fuck, man. This is a hypothetical from hell. I assume the tungsten wouldn't burn up? Question mark? Maybe? You may have to put like ceramic plates on it to disperse the heat. I don't know how well tungsten disperses heat. I don't know the physical. I'm not a physicist. So right now, given the fact that we would have limited ammunition with a kinetic effector like that, I would have to say that moving things, dropping them with or dropping the rods from God is probably the winner. Sorry, man. My thing is not keeping up. All right, let me see. I'm trying to get caught up here. SpaceX Test Flight 8, booster caught ship 34. It blew between Florida and Cuba? Oh shit. Ever seen Gate? No, I want to. It's on my list. I was told that Gate is really cool. It's a good anime. Never seen it. Trace for Woofers, is it that time? It is that time. Oh man, he's looking right at me. All right, grab it. All right, come on. This one's empty. Oh, that's a little baby one. You're a big boy. Speak. There you go. Good boy. Rain, she won't speak, so turn around. I need to get like a camera behind me or something. All right, let me see. Read The Machine at the End of Time by Isaac Asimov. Words are hard. Only a 20-minute read, but I'll have you think for days. Replace the term AI for AC, early 1950s. Okay. Machine at the end of time. I'll have to look it up. Can I recommend Mr. Global, real name Matt Randolph, on YouTube? He know the oil and gas industry like you know how to knock down flying things. I'll check out Mr. Global. I'm all about, like, this is the thing. I always want to gain new information and new insight. You know what's crazy? A lot of people don't want someone on the internet to disagree with them, and that's okay, right? That is perfectly fine. I love when people disagree with me because I get to see what I'm trying to understand from a different perspective, and I actually really enjoy that. It's just oftentimes when I get into a discourse with somebody, either A, they devolve into disparaging terms, or B, they haven't done the amount of homework I have. There is a C, and sometimes I am not as educated as them. It happens. And I'm always, if you guys ever go to my Twitter and someone says something like wild to me and I fire back and it turns out they were right, I'm like, I'm not going to delete the post, but you're right. You got this. If we went to big spaceships that had super way more than hypersonic pews, wouldn't that give us nearly unbeatable position of power? Please go through. I've tried 5 times. Okay. Man, I shouldn't be saying this word. The only reason I don't want to say this word is because it's going to start spreading like wildfire. Above hypersonic, you have what's called high hypersonic. And then above that, I have no idea. High hypersonic is like Mach 10 to Mach 25 or something like that. Which is, you're at, what's Earth's exit velocity is like Mach 30 something or 20 something. I don't fucking know. If we could master having ships in space, like getting that amount of weight into even just orbit and had that amount of firepower, yes. Because if you don't, as a country, if you don't have a space program, you have no ability to reach up and destroy what's up there.
Me?
Ooh, BSG37, what is up?
BSG Deadlock is a space naval game. It's turn-based and has really good after-game replay cinematics. Cylon, Cylon, ships use hacking and missiles, colonials use flak and big guns. It's canon to that 2004 to 2009 sci-fi show and is the prequel to it. It's on Steam.
All right, let me see. Hold on. Now I got to pull up the old Steam. By the way, guys, it's you can't get it anymore, but if you haven't played the new oh my god, Roadcraft demo, it's so good. Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. I'm going to go ahead and just wishlist it real quick. Where in the hell's the wish list? Add to my wish list, and I'll check it out later. I add and delete stuff from my wish list all the time. But yes, that would probably give us an unbeatable position in space because there is a select few countries that have ever shot anything in space. The US, China, and I want to say India. I'm not certain about India. I am certain about the US and China. I don't think Russia's ever shot down a satellite. God damn it, my fucking chat over here just did it again. I got to go to this chat. That's why I always keep a second one open. It's Thursday night. Yes, it is Thursday. So tomorrow, here, I'll show you guys what I'm doing. So I'm a Borderlands junkie. By the way, September 23rd, 2025, Borderlands 4 comes out. It's already on my wish list on Steam. You're welcome if you weren't aware that Borderlands 4 is dropping. Now, I am a Borderlands junkie. Let me show you. I got Krieg, Claptrap, Salvador, Mose is over here. Got a vault symbol. I got the Psycho there, and I think, yeah, Mose is on my back. But it's all filled in with siren tattoos. We're there.
Me? I'd intercept me.
Out everyone have a good night. Just so you know, I interact with a lot more often than you think.
God damn it, Wither.
Would you intercept me?
TIE Fighter. Good to have you here, Wither, though.
Intercept me.
Hi HLC. First live I can catch. Out of curiosity, with drone warfare being a thing, how do you think air defense would evolve to deal with it?
That's
I
actually...
can understand if you can't answer this.
No, that's a wonderful question.
Videos, man.
That's a wonderful question, actually. I want to answer that question, actually. But here, Tomorrow, I'm getting the rest of my siren tattoos, all the outline there, filled in. It's gonna suck. But yeah, my whole right leg is a Borderlands mural. So that's what I'm getting done. Okay. Let me see. Oh man, hope I didn't miss anything. Trying to stay up on top of everything. Okay. I think DU might burn up faster more violently than tungsten because DU has a property that splinters as penetrating. Does it? Does it splinter? You might be right, because I know Sabo's tank penetrating cartridge, self-discarding Sabo on the Abrams, they're self-sharpening. I wasn't sure if that was because it splintered or it actually just grinded down and got sharper. F-35s, plural, versus a single F-22, how would that go down? 35s. I hate saying that. I hate it. 1v1, the 22. 5v5, the 35. Just because of its network and sensor capability. Now, with the new upgrades coming to the F-22, we might be onto something. Let me see if I can get my chat dock to work again. Okay, let me see. Have I been to Poland or had any interaction with Polish troops in the past? Yes. I don't know where it went. I have a Polish flag from Polish students that came through. We talked about a lot of different stuff. They were very, very polite. They were super nice. They were excited to be here. They wanted to train. That's the thing. I don't care how smart, stupid, fucking anything you are. If you are motivated to be here and you want to train, I love that shit. I will always take a bumbling idiot who wants to be there over somebody who knows their shit and doesn't give a hell. Doesn't give a fuck. Like, I love training people who are motivated, man. Like, that's my drug. If you could just mainline that shit, we're going to train so good. Sorry, that was weird. Come on, F4s versus Dragons. You know you want to. I do want to do some more spin-off style stuff for my USA versus the World series. I got another one of those coming. It's on my list. Surface detail by Ian M. Banks falling outside the normal moral constraints. It's hilarious and unhinged. Surface detail. I'll have to check it out, man. I'll give it a shot. HLC, love your content. What do you think about the unsub crew at the Pentagon? Super jealous. I'm so happy for them, but super jealous. I mean, like magnetically charged tube slinging depleted uranium rods from God. Here's the thing. I got it. Everyone thinks like it'll hit the ground and it'll cause pretty much an equivalent of a nuclear explosion without the nuclear fallout. But there's a couple things you got to understand to really get that. Number one, nuclear fallout doesn't stick around as long as people think. Most of it is burnt up when the nuclear device goes off, unless of course it goes off on the ground. But like we did airburst on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. So most of it is burned up. Those areas are perfectly safe to live now. There are areas that are still considered radiated, but it doesn't stick around like it's not going to be like Chernobyl. Secondly, we have objects fall from the sky pretty regularly. So I'm not a physicist. I have no idea the terminal velocity of a tungsten rod versus a metal space rock. I have no idea. But I don't know if it'll slow down enough. So here's the thing. The problem with that is, do you know why a hypersonic is so hard to make? It's part of the rocket problem. If you guys are unfamiliar with the rocket problem, Google it, but pretty much the down and dirty of the rocket problem is you have to create X amount of thrust, and that thrust has to be moving at X amount of speed to push an object that weighs X amount of pounds at X amount of speed with X amount of fucking wind resistance. So the higher you go, you can go faster. But as you come down closer to Earth, like people like, well, it'll just fall. Okay, ballistic missiles weigh tens of thousands of pounds sometimes, and they all slow down. So I don't know. That's the thing that I'm not familiar with. I thought Russia may have shot down a satellite. I could be wrong there. Hi, HLC first live a catch out of curiosity. Drone warfare being okay. So this is great. So right now, everyone is freaking out about drones. the United States military included. We've opened up 3 counter SUAS schools. Counter is, obviously, SUAS is small unmanned aerial systems. So we've opened up 3 of those schools. And one here at Fort Sill, one at Fort Huachuca, and one...
I'd intercept me.
If you went to the Pentagon, would you have been scared? Just
Oh, no.
don't anger the Sergeant Major of the Army.
I am not worried about that. You know what I realized is, unless they're a complete bumbling, someone's going to clip this and I'm going to have to go stand on someone's carpet, but unless you are a complete bumbling fuckbag in uniform, you can talk to people like they're normal people. They don't give a shit. I used to be real scared of rank. Used to be real bad. And then I worked at White Sands for 4 years, and now bumping into a 1-star is like, I might as well be bumping into a lieutenant. I'm like, oh shit, what's up, sir? Excuse me. Just move on about my way. Don't care. Doesn't even bother me. Doesn't even faze me. So the drone warfare. Everyone is freaking out about the drones warfare. The U.S. has several systems coming online to deal with drones. First off is the Sergeant Stout, named after Mitchell W. Stout, the only air defender ever to get the Medal of Honor, was in Vietnam. He was in a bunker. He was an M42 Duster crewman. The Vietnamese, the NVA, threw a grenade into his bunker. He grabbed the grenade and ran out of the bunker to throw it, and it killed him. Not as cool of a story as a lot of other Medal of Honor recipients, but I do absolutely believe he deserved that. Saved everybody else in his bunker. So the Sergeant Stout is a striker. It used to be called the KM Shorad or Kinetic M Shorad, which has a 30 millimeter cannon on it. It's got 8 stingers now instead of 4. It used to have 2 Hellfires and 4 stingers. Hellfires are slow. Great missile, just not good for air defense. So then they got those. It's also got a coaxial 7.62, and those 30 mic rounds are airburst. They have airburst versions of those. Works out really, really good against drones. Next, we have HPM coming online, high power microwave, which is a system they're currently, I believe, in testing right now. They might be running it. I have no idea. The United States Army is setting up an IFPC battalion. Several of them, but the first one's already stood up. IFPC stands for Improved Fire Protection Capability. It's a newer system for short-range air defense. And then we also have the counter UAS schools use things like drone busters, the smart shooter, the Ninja, the LMATIS, the Coyote. I mean, there's just a ton of systems. But you know what's interesting is, and somebody brought this up to me because they were looking at it from a different tactical perspective, is American intelligence is really, really good. Like, we don't even know how much we know. So when people talk about drone swarms are great for like displays, light displays. But his counterpoint was, don't you think that we're going to see a bunch of guys setting out a couple hundred drones in a big box out in the middle of a field somewhere, and we're going to kill them before they get to launch those drones? And I was like, you're right. That's probably why we haven't seen drone swarms on the battlefield. We've seen a couple of them like working in tandem, but we've never really seen swarms. So, plus, I'm not an electromagnetic guy, but according to my friends who are, they say that like a drone swarm on the EM spectrum is nuts. Like, you can see it from low orbit. There are so many radio waves compacted in one area. It's insane. We also do have DEM Shorad, Directed Energy Maneuver Short Range Air Defense, which is a striker with a freaking laser. It's a 50 kilowatt. But they're possibly upgrading it to 300. I don't know. Things I read. Do I play chess? I do play chess. I'm terrible at it. I used to really, really enjoy chess. I just haven't had any time to practice or play. My father-in-law plays it all the time, and every once in a while I played with him a couple of times. Casio or G-Shock? This is a Garmin, but I used to be a Casio guy because I was all about cheap. My wife bought me a G-Shock, and then she bought me a smartwatch, and then she bought me another smartwatch, and then I bought myself a really nice watch. She has to force me to buy shit. So I don't know if you guys know anything about anything, but she forced me to walk into the Omega store in Vegas and forced me against my will to make a purchase. I don't ever buy anything for myself. I buy her shit. She got a Cartier necklace. Yeah. Strikers with freaking laser beams. I can't say what tankers call the MGS strikers on this platform. I cannot tell you guys what something wagons. I'm going to just leave it at that. Have I sampled a lot of MREs? If so, favorites or standouts? Okay, this is a wonderful question. When you're looking for not the actual entree itself and everything that comes with it, cheese tortellini MRE. It's a vegetarian MRE. Comes with like Skittles and a fucking Ranger bar and a bunch of other cool shit. Okay, I lived off of MREs for 7 months. I'm very, very good. Box B, menu number 24, buffalo chicken. Not good by itself, but if you pair it with other breads and tortillas that come in some of the other MREs, phenomenal. Okay. Menu 13 box, no, menu 8 box A. The beef stew. Is it the beef stew? Take the crackers that come in that bad boy, crunch them bad boys up, toss them in the beef stew after you got it nice and warm, get the salt and pepper, maybe a little Tabasco sauce, stir it up, down the hatch. You're welcome. You also probably never poop again. Just thought I'd throw that out there. They stop you up like a cork. You might as well be drinking fucking cement. Join late. How's it going, y'all? It's going great, man. Thank you so much for being here. Happiness is make you happy. So cute and shit. It's wonderful. Ryan Macbeth is watching and took your comments about his fedora personally. Posted he's going to challenge you to a fight in the ring. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson style. Man. And a big thank you to HLC's FBI agent for not arresting you. Thank you. Thank you for not arresting me. And, you know, this is the thing. If Ryan wanted to do something like that, I would absolutely, if any one of my friends, maybe not Nick would hurt me. Just because, like, maybe box. I'm not a good boxer. I'm a shit boxer. I can grapple decent, but I cannot box to save my fucking life. But, like, Brandon, I think he did one for charity way back when. I'd fucking get my shit rocked for charity. I don't give a fuck. How do you come up with a kid and grandpa buff? What's their origin? So, when I was starting doing these videos, making fun of like the news, there was a story about an F-22, and there was a story about, I don't even remember what the story was. So I was like, I don't know enough about these aircraft to really make these characters. And I started reading, and the F-22 is just, it's a bad mamma jamma, but it's never got to do its job. And I was like, that's enough to make someone go crazy. He should be crazy. And he should be kind of pent up and you know, but he's also the young, you know, the new kid on the block. The F-35 is younger, but I didn't use the F-35 at that time. And then Buff, I didn't name him Grandpa Buff. I just made him an old character, and somebody said Buff, and I was like, Buff? And I looked it up, and pilots often refer to the B-52 as the big, ugly, fat effer. Oh, I can say fucker. I've been saying fucker. Big, ugly, fat fucker. And I was like, Grandpa Buff. I think we should run it. And that's just, yeah. Dirty bombs, that's a huge threat. That is also, yeah. HLC, just want to say, amongst all the craziness going on in the world, it's great to see you having some level-headed takes on the geopolitical landscape. We need to support Ukraine to stop that psycho Putin. You are not wrong. At least in my opinion. So, student of history as much as I possibly can, and I try and understand these things. Now, Russian, but I also, like, I try and bring the human aspect into it. Do I hate Iranians? No. Do I hate Russians? No. Do I hate what their government is doing to other people? Yes. Abso-fucking-lutely. And the United States has always taken a firm stance whenever anybody is oppressed. Hell, what is it? Is it the Green Berets? That's the Liberate the Oppressed? Fuck, maybe that's somebody else I'm thinking of. So, while we didn't start that fight, it should be in our best interest and global best interest to end it. Now, I understand both sides. Both sides are having to cede things. Ukraine is going to be giving up things. So far, what Russia's giving up has eluded me. And I'm going to be totally transparent with you guys. I don't know what Russia is losing on this, aside from maybe pride at this point. I don't know. But both sides are going to have to lose something. So I do want to see a peaceful end to it as much as I possibly can. I'm not one of those warmongers. De oppresso liber. There you go. Oh no, I know the ODA thing. Hey, weapons. I don't know everything about everything. Greetings from Turkey. Hey, what's up, man? I have never been to Turkey. I actually arrived at my unit while they were deployed to Gaziantep. Your content has definitely opened my eyes to reality. Hope the relations between our countries can be positive in the future. I totally agree. When I did the USA versus the world, I really expected the UK to be like second in line to the United States. It's Turkey. Now granted, Turkey doesn't have a lot of the more modern stuff, I guess, but they have a large stockpile of everything. And what I realized is, like, in war, when your allies go to war, you trade equipment. Who has more of what? Like, hey, I have extra planes, take these. And they're like, hey, I have extra tanks, take these. So having a good stockpile is good. Turkey is, it's funny. My old battalion commander, he's a general now. He got kicked out of Turkey because while they were in Gaziantep, he's standing in a briefing in front of Turkish generals. And he said the number one threat to U.S. forces in Gaziantep, Turkey, is the Turkish. And they said, get the fuck out of my country. Oh, I love it. Oh, man. The guy had balls. I'll give him that. He had guts. Oh, man. DEF CON is a good one on Steam, War Game style Nuclear Armageddon. There's one on my wish list that I'm waiting on. I should have bought Terran Command. I didn't. I just haven't had time. Where's my wish list? I'm waiting for it to come out. No. Is it that one? No. Broken Arrow. That one looks good. Broken Arrow. That's probably the next RTS that I'll be getting into. You should make a new jet fighter with the Dark Star. When we validate that that's there, absolutely.
Me? I'd intercept me.
Omega.
Igor.
Chillo07, take this toward a Breitling and be a proper sketchy guy. Cheers. Google it if you don't get it.
Chill007, take this towards. So I'm not familiar with, I assume Breitling is a watch company. I actually ended up with a Seamaster. So, look, the watch community is also like the plane community. They got their fucking tisms, man. So I'm not a fancy guy. I'm a reasonable dude. Like I was even now, I just want to get the lowest price on shit. That's just kind of the way my brain works. My wife, on the other hand, she wants something, fucking here. Take it. It's yours. I don't care. Depleted uranium melting point is 2,007 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, I think I had a moco just fall out of my nose. Atmospheric reentry is up to 7,000. It wouldn't be a coherent mass by impact. Tungsten has a melting point of just below 7,000, meaning it would maintain enough mass on delivery. Colin, are you a physicist? Like this, it's always so weird to me. It's always so strange because like there's so many people from different walks of life that watch my videos, and I mean I get it. I'm an expert in my field. I'm a humble guy as much as I can be, but like when I know something, I fucking know it, right? Like I at least high to medium air defense, I'm pretty good. But it's so wild when people are like super good in their field and they're like, man, I love your videos. And I'm like, dude, you know, you're like a bigger deal than me. I'm just a fucking goober on the internet, right? You know that, right? How much time do I have left in the service? So according to the VA, they have it's law that you have exactly 270 days to be out of the military once they initiate the med board. My med board was initiated slightly over a month ago. So we're getting there. It'll be this year. That's all I know. Your opinion on what is the biggest things the U.S. needs to do to get ready for LISCO, conflict with China, logistics, equipment, diplomacy. So that's actually a wonderful question. From an air defense perspective, we need to get IBCS online. That will shorten the joint kill chain, increase the area of control while decreasing manning requirements. That's an absolute must-have. Plus, some of the capabilities coming with that system are fire. Continue to modernize those things. I think we need some better manned like shoulder fired anti-tank weapons. The AT-4 is a good system. The SMA is a good system. But what we've learned in Ukraine is that tanks, while they're still a force multiplier on the battlefield, and I know I got my tankers in here, and I love you guys, tanks are a force multiplier on the battlefield, but they are no longer a single devastating weapon that they used to be, due to the availability and capability of manned anti-tank systems. So I think we need a little bit more robust in our anti-tank defense. Logistics, we got it on lock. Like, honestly, the U.S. military is a logistics company that has a hobby in warfare. We've accidentally ordered better shit than our enemy can get. I shit you not. I think it was like late 1980s, early 1990s. An Abrams main battle tank turret ended on board an aircraft carrier. It's a real story. That really happened. Somebody fucked up and they just like fat fingered an NSN or something, and all of a sudden no one stopped it. They're just like, yeah, that carrier needs a tank turret, and they did. So logistics, I think we got on lock. I do genuinely, and this is from my NCO footprint, I really think that we need to get back to basics, and this is part of that training exercise that I'm trying to get air defense into. We've gotten away from, in some capacity, manual operations. At least the Army side of the house. I don't know about anybody else, but like, it's in our gunnery tables for air defense to do manual emplacement of the radar, manual emplacement of the launchers. It's a requirement. Artillery is the same. They have manual gunnery they have to shoot, where all their systems are fucked, and they have to do everything with a map, a compass, and a protractor. And as much as I feel like units are supposed to be doing this, when I see soldiers come through basic leader course and they fail the land navigation course, I have my concerns. So getting back to basics is hugely important. We need to stop relying on technology. We should have the technology there to amplify our capabilities, but we need to stop relying on it. Outside of that, the deployment of the LRHW, the long-range hypersonic weapon that the U.S. has developed, it's completed now, that's deploying this year, is going to be a serious force multiplier. Because Russia said they had hypersonics. They said that, absolutely. They have yet to prove it. And for anyone who's like, well, the Oreshnik is a different parabolic trajectory Patriot wasn't designed for. So even if it was subsonic, Patriot wouldn't have fucking hit that damn thing. So there's that. China, on the other hand, also claims, but they have neither shown nor failed to achieve that. So I think that we really, really need to get behind the hypersonic train. Not so much hypersonic ballistic missiles, just because of the radar detection capability. Hypersonic cruise missiles, I feel like, are going to be the next big thing. Because I can tell you from an air defense perspective, cruise missiles are probably one of the more dangerous things we have to deal with, because they hide behind the curvature of the earth until they're pretty much right on top of you. And if they're moving too fast, you can do shit about them. So, and for anyone who's like, the earth is flat, I can't help you. Please go back to school. Like, I understand radars. I know radar go in straight line. I know horizon, not straight line. Curve on earth. Cruise missiles use mass terrain and the curvature of the earth to hide their position, to sneak up on air defense systems and other systems to cause damage. If the earth was flat, it wouldn't work. I'm just giving you guys the facts here. Sorry. But yeah, those are some of the things. Sorry, I got way off on a tangent there. We turn our attention away from Russia once they're really much of a threat now, but how much of a threat does China pose to our forces? China, right now, when it comes to the big three players, China is a far larger threat. And the reason China is a far larger threat is because China is already at war with the United States. If you weren't aware of this, sorry, they are. Pretty much everywhere the United States has been doing business or been doing war, the second we leave, China shows up. China showed up in Afghanistan. China started working with the Taliban. China's fucking working with Iran. Anyone who doesn't like the U.S. does business dealings with China. Now there's a cause and effect there. China is waging right now an economic war with the United States because they understand if they can strangle us economically, their sanctions become more powerful than ours. They've learned that. Beating us in open conflict is a no-win situation for anybody in the world. I genuinely feel like open conflict is going to be kind of a thought in the past here in the next, 100 years or so. economic warfare is really where it's going to be. That's where you have all the power. If Russia had a more powerful like military and economic hold than the United States, our sanctions would mean fuck all. It would mean nothing. But because we control global trade, logistics, things like that, we have the power. China has realized this. They've started building up. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just letting you know. So that's the biggest threat, is that they can quite literally strangle us. But right now we possess the ability to strangle them as well economically. Now, if you look at self-sustainment capabilities of both countries, China will eat themselves into a famine in less than 90 days because of their population density and the amount of food they produce. The United States, aside from like fossil fuels, certain types of rare precious minerals, I mean, fossil fuels we really get from Canada anyways, most of them, we're pretty set up. Like, we got tons of natural gas. We produce a shit ton of food. The entire Midwest. It produces corn, carrots, beets, beans. I didn't know this. Apparently, pecans in New Mexico, you know one of their biggest buyers? China. I didn't even know the Chinese like pecans. But yeah, this economic war is exactly why I need to have more industry back here in the U.S. I totally agree. The answer is somewhere usually in between. You don't know enough about the aircraft. End the sentence. I'm way behind. Turkey do they have a sick new rifle? Let me have to check it out. Quick fact, the rules of war state that installing military equipment onto civilian infrastructure makes those spots legitimate military targets. That is an absolute fact. Which is why Hamas was able to push their campaign of genocide so very well. Were innocent people dying in Gaza? Yes. Yes, absolutely. Are innocent people dying in every war that has ever existed in history? Yes. Were they disproportionately dying in Gaza? Kind of debatable, depending on the war you talk about. I mean, hell, 90,000 Germans were killed in less than a week during the Berlin firebombing. Like, how many people were killed with napalm on mainland Japan? Like the Tokyo firebombing? Sweet Jesus. More of them were killed by napalm than both atomic bombs combined. Most people don't know that. The Bretling. I'm going to have to look up the Bretling. Now I want to look it up. I want to see this. Toward a Bretling. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. I ain't gonna lie to you. That Navitimer? Wow. You guys just got to watch me hooked on phonics in real time. Holy shit. That's actually really nice. It's a Speedmaster, which is an Omega. Huh. That's really nice. I'm not a watch guy. I just ended up with one. Americans love their napalm. We do. We be lighting all kinds of shit on fire. All right, sorry, I try to get caught up. Oh, they're so late with me then. Sucks for them. Not my fault. Be over the 270 by the time I'm out. Really? Yeah, like, I was told from the VA, like, it's a law. When your shit is initiated, 270 days by law. Will the Army start issuing air defenders Remington 870 Mossbergs? So, no, however, smashes or smart shooters, which is literally aimbot. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a smart shooter. It's like a trigger assembly and sight that goes into an M4. It's pretty much an upper. And you hold the trigger, like you laze the drone, and you hold the trigger, and it tells you where to put your crosshairs on a dot in front of the drone. And when it gets to the dot, it fires for you. It's literally aimbot. It also works on people. Just thought I'd throw that out there. I think it's Israeli designed. But yeah, the smart shooter. Honestly, in the meantime, 12 gauges is not a bad option. It's really not. I mean, because if it can give you a few feet of standoff, it may not keep you from being unscathed, but it'll save your life. That's a win in my book. I always ask this of veterans, why did I join the Army? Also, what is my favorite military innovation of the past 5 years? Fun fact, there's been some notable breakthroughs with nano weapons this year. I actually want to look into that. I haven't heard shit about nano weapons. So my favorite military innovation in the past 5 years, shit. Let me think about that one for a second. But why did I join? It got me out of my hometown. The U.S. Army is the best bad decision I ever made in my life. So I love my dad. My dad he's a good dude. He's not the greatest human alive, but he's a good dude, right? And he really gave us the right morals to stand up for ourselves and be on our own. And I was working for him, driving a tow truck. I pulled in 60 cars in 2 weeks. My dad got paid roughly $250 a car. Don't worry, I'll do the math for you. That's about 12 grand to his company. Yes, I blew the turbo in the truck, but it was also under warranty, so all we had to do was take the turbo in, and they gave us a new one. I finally got some rest after those 2 weeks, and I walked up the stairs, and he's like, hey, I had to use the rest on parts and fuel. Here's your check. You earned every bit of it. $23, $27, something like that was on my check. I said thank you because I'm not ungrateful. I've never been ungrateful, right? But I know what my work is also worth. When you're working your ass off for somebody, you deserve to get paid like you worked your ass off for somebody. So I said thank you. I put it in gas in my truck. I drove to the recruiter station, and I was gone 2 weeks later. Never looked back. Favorite military innovation in the past 5 years? That's a tough one. I don't even know what we've gotten in the last 5 years. Probably the Sergeant Stout. I really do believe that a lead slinger air defense system is kind of the way we need to go. Although they are bringing back the linebacker for my old Bradley guys. They're bringing them back. HLC not better. No. Do I feel like the U.S. ground forces have become far too reliant on close air support in general? Maybe completely wrong. Feel we are playing catch up on SHORAD. Okay, that's actually a wonderful question. Yes and no. American doctrine really dictates. Okay. The reason why the United States really relies on air and indirect fires like artillery and mortars and things like that is because it is cheaper on lives, if that makes sense. So it's simple battle tactics that when you assault through something, you lose more people than when you are defending, right? It's just simple tactics. So the US, we started doing combined arms tactics where troops are supporting tanks, which are being supported by air and artillery and vice versa, and logistics and all these things. Like we move like an amoeba through the battlefield. So it's really strange to me when I see like Russians or Ukrainians on the battlefield, like by themselves, like that guy, that knife fight, that was rough. That was fucking rough, but that's war. It's so strange to me because I was never on my own in Afghanistan. I was never, no matter what was going on, no matter how bad things were, I was never off on my own. I always had at least one or two guys with me. So we always do it that way. Same with close air support. Now, what we've learned in history is that when American units get surrounded or American units get cut off, our brain immediately goes into dig in mode. Because now, tactically speaking, I know the enemy has to do the hard job of assaulting me. And a defensive position is going to save more of my men than if I were to take up an offensive position towards them. Because now they're defending and I'm going to lose more men, but their numbers are superior to mine, right? So you kind of weigh the balance there. And doctrinally, we're kind of taught to hold the line and stay where we're at until we're either A, reinforced, or B, dead. So we rely on our air force, our air power, and our indirect fires, not out of necessity, but out of leverage. I guess that's, I would say simplicity, but it's not really simplicity. It's more like we know that gives us an upper hand. So that's what we try and use. Yeah. I hear the exosuit. So they have the exosuit being in testing. And you know what's funny is I had to explain it to some of my 13 Bravos because they're testing the exosuit here on Fort Sill. And they were like, they're having 13 Bravos throw rounds wearing this exosuit that like takes all the weight off of them. And at first they were kind of like, what the fuck, man? That's some, just weak ass bullshit. And I was like, hold on. I see this as a win. Yes, those soldiers should absolutely be able to throw those rounds without that exosuit. And I'm sure they're training to do just that. But if that exosuit can mean they can either A, throw more rounds, or B, throw rounds faster, that's a force multiplier. I'll take it. If that can change their rounds per minute on that gun, I'm all here for it. You appreciate every tism tangent I do? Much appreciated, man. Dang, that Super Things feature is not available here? Oh, yeah, no, it'll be available at the end, man. It's okay. Israeli Arms going to have to pay royalties to Mike Poundsmith for the smart gun design. Really? I'm not familiar with anyone else's smart gun design. I know the U.S. military has bought the smart shooter. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, any entrepreneurs out there, if you find a way to technologically solve the drone problem reliably, consistently, and at the lowest possible cost, you will be a very, very rich man. Right now, the entire U.S. military is terrified of drones. Rightly so. There's like 25 of them over every square mile of the front line in Ukraine. That's rightly fucking so. But if you can consistently stop that threat and save lives, and you sell that to the U.S. government, holy Santa Claus shit. You will make more money than God. I'm telling you. Like they will, holy shit. Like right now we're using many different systems in tandem. This is partially due to different capabilities in the drones themselves and partially due to lack of production capability of those systems. Like the Coyote version 3, really good innovation there. It's from Raytheon. Look, the big contenders know what they make. Raytheon makes good sensors. And C2 systems. Command and control systems. Raytheon, they got that shit down pat. Northrop Grumman makes beautiful bombers. Gorgeous bombers. Fucking phenomenal. Lockheed Martin, they make damn good fighters. Like really, really good fighters. And they're dabbling in the radar category. Apparently the Spy 7 is a Lockheed Martin variant. I don't know shit about that. One of the things that I saw someone say micro EMP rounds. Interesting you say that. So the 777, the M777 howitzer has a round called the Excalibur round. As the round, it's fired, and then as the round is reaching its apogee and starting to lose some of its kinetic energy, some of them have rocket assistance with them. They literally fire rockets to go further, which is fucking gangster. Anyways, so to go further, but then it's also got steerable fins on the front. And it's also can be laser guided, which is great in a non-GPS denied environment. So according to my 13 Bravo friends, as long as that object is going less than 40 miles an hour, that Excal round can hunt them down. So imagine you're driving in a truck and a fucking 777 round that, by the way, in case you were wondering, this is doctrine, this is book, I don't know for sure, but the kill radius on a 155 is... I want to say it's 150 feet. So, I mean, that's open terrain. You know, rocks and everything play a factor. But yeah. Let me see. But anyway, sorry. That what I was getting to is now they're testing. They're testing. I don't know if they're going to come online, but they're testing air defense rounds that do the same thing. 30 millimeter rounds. You fire at something and it tracks and goes and hunts down that object and kaboom. So literally smart rounds. Welcome to the future, boys. Your reason for joining hits hard. I saw a future of working my ass off for very little reward, and it was talking to recruiters immediately. Decided on the Navy because I like the boats. You like the boats. You know what, man? There's nothing wrong with that. The only reason I actually went Army, it's funny you may mention that, is the only reason I went Army. Originally, I was actually going to go Marine Corps, and I'm sure everyone hears that. Everyone who's a Marine probably hears that from everybody, but I was actually I had taken the ASVAB for the Marine Corps. And then I went into their office one day, they fucked themselves, and this Marine, I think it was a Sergeant Major, was like, "What makes you think you're good enough for my Corps?" And I was like, "You right?" And I walked out. But the reason I didn't go Navy is I had an older brother in the Navy, and I knew that if I joined the Navy, everything I did would be compared to his expertise and his service. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to kind of tread my own path. So that's why I went Army. Couldn't there be a directional dish put onto a Thor system, basically EMP shoot them out of the air? Yes, however, what about the fiber ones? And you're not that far off. Electromagnetic pulse and things like that are all systems that are coming online. Now, believe it or not, the US military is the only military in the world who's ever used an EMP bomb. But it's so impractical. We haven't used another one, and Russia stopped developing one. Because everything is, like, literally this cable right here is a type of EMP insulation. Like, it has to be within a certain range for it to actually affect anything within this electrical circuit. Crazy, right? Daughter of Army here? Hey, what's up, Amber? Someone has said a radar or radio pulse that drops them all. So there is a commercial company. I don't know which the company is. I don't know many details about it, but I hear things and I listen to things. And if it's talked about in a public room, I'm like, all right, cool. There is a commercial company that is developing a radio transmitter and software that will hack drones in real time, and you can turn them on their operators, which is fucking terrifying. God, the world is such a scary damn place. Like, when that comes online, sweet baby Jesus. Like, I'm under an NDA, so I can't really elaborate, but I've worked with Army hackers before. Them fuckers. That's all I'm going to say. Them fuckers. It's terrifying. Just make a mini CWIS. So for that, the CWIS is a great system. It's a really, really good system. The downside of the CWIS is the ammo cost and ammo usage to bring down a target. That being said, when you have a large number of drones, reloading it is kind of impractical. So we still use CWIS, and CWIS has done its job. But it's against larger numbers. But now when we're talking like larger size, that's when you have to go to missile. So drones are based on size 1 through size, I think 6 or 5. The biggest one is like the Global Hawk. Like, that's the only one I think any country has, is the fucking Global Hawk. And that's the United States one. It's enormous. It's literally like the size of a fucking... It's almost as big as a U-2. Not lengthwise, but with wingspan. It's fucking huge. Size 4s are like your Reapers. Size 3 is like... Not the Raven. The Raven's a size 2 or size 1. Size 3 is like your... I don't even know what a size 3 would be. Yeah. Yeah, reloading a CWIS will take a minute. Yeah. All your drones belonged. Got the Sergeant York. Oh, the Sergeant York will do the trick. Apparently that 30 is putting in work. People are really, really happy with the 30 mic. So pretty excited about that. HLC? What about HLC? What did I do? All your drones now belong to us. Y'all been watching Spectral too much. It's just a movie. Stop making new weapons. I tell you guys, like, when I make that joke in those videos, and I'm just like, we just be building shit. America just be building shit. We just do it because we can. Like, sometimes there's not even, like, it's such unfathomable. They're like, okay, so what if somebody invaded right here and they came in and they had a tank, because they airdropped the tank from lower Earth orbit that they fired off of a mobile platform in the ocean that came up in a submarine, and we need this capability to be able to deter that. And for some reason, I love the military industrial complex, but for some damn reason, people at the Pentagon are like, this is pretty legitimate. This could happen. We should totally buy this product. It's the weirdest shit, man. Long-time Canadian viewer. Thank you so much for being here, Josh. I love the content. What's your thoughts on the news that Macron is considering extending France's nuclear umbrella? Anytime you talk nuclear weapons, the world gets a little uneasy. Now, nuclear weapons are expensive to produce, expensive to maintain, and very, very difficult to move around. I guess as an American, consider You know, I consider France an ally. Yeah, I make the jokes about France always retreating, whatever, but France is an ally. So if one of our allies is extending their nuclear umbrella, that means that I can save costs where my nuclear weapons are by either bringing them back stateside, which is going to reduce the cost of logistics to get the parts and whatever over there, or I could maybe just, hey, France, I have these weapons here. How about I sell them to you? I don't know if we can sell nuclear weapons. I have no idea if that's illegal or not. I have no clue. But I think our allies increasing their nuclear envelope is a good deterrent, believe it or not. Stronger allies is always going to be a win in my book. Always going to be a win in my book. Master Sergeant served in Desert Storm. I was 11 when he was deployed, came home shortly after I turned 12. Desert Storm is, the more I learn about warfare, the more I love Desert Storm. Mini shotgun Sea Whiz then. So the Navy, they have the rolling airframe missile, and I'm super fucking jealous. It's a Sea Whiz that shoots missiles. Like that's right up my alley. Super jealous they got that. So I don't know, maybe somebody do a shotgun one. 10 Tu-95s now airborne and pointed towards Ukraine. Fuck. Of course there are. Everyone laughs at 22LR until they see 22LR miniguns. I've seen a machine gun, never seen a minigun. I've literally just witnessed a successful drone hunt. That's awesome. Punt gun-sized shells filled with squirrel shot. Belt fed and saturate the area. Add more barrels for flavor. Big shells big enough for prox fuse. God, you're American. I can tell you're an American. And that's not just because like the super chat came through in dollars. I can tell you're an American because that's just an American mentality. Hold on. Take an old gun. Give it new shit. Strap on more guns. Make it shoot a lot. Ta-da! Like, that's just such an American thing, man. I love it. Follow-up, U.S. allies will need 4.5 Gen F5 equivalent. Also, a lot of them are operating 20-plus-year-old planes, which maintenance nightmares and reduce op tempo. I think Tejas, or the F-850, with some tweaks could fit the bill. I think so, too. Hold on, I want to just double-check before I say something here. Okay. A lot of people are waiting for the F-35. Like, there's been a lot of orders for the F-35. That being said, we're way behind. Hell, we just finished Australia's order, and they ordered them bitches like years ago. We're cranking them out as quick as we can, but the parts are hard to come by. They're harder to complete. It's just the way it is. I know what the F-850 is. Shut up. I don't know what the Tejas is, but I know what the F-850 is. I think the solution is somewhere in between. Obviously, I'm a little biased, and I think people should buy American. I think the F-15 or the F-15EX, when they finally start selling that thing, is a really, really good program to go with. I mean, there's a decent amount of like Rafaels or whatever that are out there. The Eurofighter is a pretty good one. Just some block upgrades really can kind of make the difference. The real big difference I'm seeing in fourth gen and fifth gen is not so much like the guts, because it seems like everything that our fifth gens get, like the F-16 gets, the F-15 gets, everybody else gets, but it just seems like they're the stealth variant. Like, it seems like that's the big shift. Now, this is outside perspective. I have never seen behind the curtain of what these systems can do. But every time I read something, it's like, hey, this new emerging capability came out. It's for the F-35, the F-16, and F-15. Hey, this new system came out. It's for the F-22, F-16, and F-15, or the F-18. So it seems like there's like a trickle-down effect, is that everybody gets the same kind of hardware on the guts. But it's just the 35 and 22 are stealth. Well, I don't know, but I've been told uranium ore is worth more than gold. Sold my CAD, bought me a Jeep. I've got a bug. I've got that bug and I can't sleep. Uranium ore is worth more than gold? Why the fuck do we use DU rounds then? I was told DU is a lot cheaper than tungsten. I could be way off. You could be right. Part 2, the next thing will be increasing production of stockpile of air-to-air missiles, standoff weapons, and anti-radiation missiles, and air defense systems, both land and sea-based. Abso-fucking-lutely. 100,000%. The most devastating part, if we do go to fisticuffs with anybody, the most devastating part of the war is going to probably be the first... I won't say devastating. The most expensive part of the war is going to be the first time defensive counter-air American aircraft go up against enemy aircraft. And it's because it's going to be such a crazy beyond line of sight fight, depending on who we're fighting. But the difference is, Uncle Sam has a lot more sensors out there in the world. And when you have sensor networking, you're at a huge disadvantage. So especially like the... AIM 174, yeeting those motherfuckers, like throwing threes with those, it's going to be expensive for somebody. It's going to be real painful. Would not put it past Uncle Ray, Uncle Boston Dynamics to design, test, and build space-based super weapons similar to the ion cannon from a man of class, the ion cannon. Or are you talking about like the, what is the one from Gears of War? So ion cannon is from Command & Conquer. Gears of War is... Hammer of Dawn. Boom. Hammer of Dawn. Same principle. Uranium forever. Igor!
Would you intercept me? I'd intercept me.
Realistically, from your take, with Europe rearming for the modern threat, how long will it take for them to spin up? How long for it to be meaningful given current and proposed investments?
My hope is 2 years. Everything is lining up that China's going to make a move on Taiwan in 2027. My hope is 2 years. Realistically, from what I've read, the biggest producer of weapons in Europe right now is about to be Poland. They have licensing for K2s. They're making their own K2 PLs. They're making K9s from Korea. They're making I don't think they might be making Abrams there. They might just be upgrading them to the SEP package. They're getting SEP V2s and V3s. They've ordered a fuck ton of HIMARS. But I also think, was it either Italy? Was it Spain? Somebody over in Europe has a contract, because Germany shit the bed on that one, to produce F-35s. So having them produce over there, like we got to protect Poland at all costs. They're going to be a heavy hitter and a producer for the next couple years. Ion cannons from Empire Strikes Back? What? No. Poland is out of nowhere with the steel chair. You guys ever see the pictures, like the memes of like the little countries that are just a ball? Like you always have the US has like the sunglasses. And I just thought like fucking Poland coming out of nowhere behind Russia, just whack, just hitting the shit out of them. Oh man. Oh shit. Oh. So there are 3 categories for weapon of mass destruction: is nuclear, chemical, and biological. Radiological too, but radiological is to most people is just similar to nuclear, kind of. I don't know, it's radioactive material. It's like dirty bombs. But that means Death Star is not a weapon of mass destruction. Yeah. Oh, it's a rabbit hole. So first we must look at how you define, like I got it, that's the book definition, but how do you define weapon of mass destruction? Because most Americans believe that there were no WMDs in Iraq. We did in fact find chemical weapons, which by your definition is a weapon of mass destruction. Now anyone's like, well, I thought I meant nuke. We knew Iraq didn't have nukes. Or at least we thought they didn't. I don't know anything about that, honestly. They may have had them. I have no clue. But I would counter that and say that the Death Star did destroy an entire planet. Like, that seems pretty mass destruction-y. Dirty bombs, though. Dirty bombs do scare the shit out of me. So, you know what's crazy? And I'll leave you guys with this because we're at our 2-hour mark. Dirty bombs... I genuinely believe dirty bombs are more of a threat than nuclear weapons, and here's why. To an air defender, nuclear weapons are They're scary, but they're not as scary as people think. So a nuclear weapon is a very precise object. It needs a very specific set of circumstances to happen in a very specific order within microseconds of one another. Now you hit that with like a missile going fucking Mach Jesus. The chances of fraying a wire, breaking a circuit board, something along those lines, pretty high. But at that point, now you have falling debris that was full of radioactive, weapons grade, plutonium, uranium, whatever it was built with. So now you have a dirty bomb falling to the ground. So that's why I think that's a significantly more threat, larger threat than a regular nuclear weapon. Death Star is a nuclear-powered laser? Is it? I know it has a reactor, so that makes sense. The Rebel base on Hoth had an ion cannon that disabled the Star Destroyer. It's been a while since I watched Empire Strikes Back. But why Thursday, not Friday? Tomorrow I will be getting my tattoo finished up for my Borderlands leg piece. Also, Borderlands comes out. I'm not sponsored. Borderlands comes out September 23rd, 2025. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for being here. I will not be here tomorrow on my Friday stream. My mods, please make sure you put that out in the Discord to everybody so they're not waiting around for me. I love all you guys. So, as always, do not give in to the 22 a day. Every single one of you are amazing. If you'd like to support the channel, please go to habituallinecrosser.com. Get yourself a shirt or something. Also, I don't know if you've seen it, we do have... so don't invest in a bunker. Buy a clean suit, yes. Over at Bunker Branding, we just pushed our new shirt out. It is the Lawnmower of Liberty with the Hellfire R9X on it. So please go check it out. Almost forgot. Deadlock has nukes, chips, reload them. Yeah, have fun using Nike missiles. Memes with that. Just nuke it. I'm going to go get some chicken nuggies now. Here comes the sun. Take it easy, guys. I'll see y'all next time.